hustle, I trap, I make things happen. I'm the streets captain. Cause the streets talking, I speak the real. Ain't no capping. I hustle, I trap, I make things happen. Really from the best side. I'm really from the west side. You know we don't play right.
We need half up front and the rest on the back end. Everything negotiable, go on and tap in. This game is all about relationships. Any form of abuse can lead to gangs.
What's up, guys? How are you guys doing today? Thank you for tapping in with me on LA in the Streets. It's your girl Jackie LA. I got Eduardo and Stanley with me on Streets Talk. How y'all feeling today?
Feeling good, thank you.
Blessed, yeah.
I mean, it's kind of hot outside. Y'all made it all the way to Hollywood to plug in with me.
It's our second home.
Tap in with Jackie LA.
Okay, so how did you two meet?
Well, first of all, let me start out. You know, I be in the streets tab, so like I'll be everywhere, and I really met him like just going through like really the social media buzz, and like I so happen to take trips to Cal State Long Beach, you know, so and they keep like his buzz around the college around with the poetry was like just ring. So I'm like, let me figure out who this guy is. So I just had to look him up and found a diamond in the rough. So I really met him at Cal State Long Beach. Shout out to Cal State Long Beach.
Okay.
Stanley, I mean, he hit me up and was like, hey, I'm trying to give you a book deal. Persistent, hella persistent, bro. Tapped in and signed a book deal.
So how many books have you wrote so far, Eduardo?
I have 3 books. I have Journey Through the Void Volume 1, Journey Through the Void Volume 2, and Love, Sex, Intimacy, and Understanding.
Which is the book that you are going to be talking about today?
Yeah, which is the book right here that we have. It's right here, published by Gang Tales, Love, Sex, Intimacy, and Understanding.
So if you could describe everything about this book and the message that you're trying to get out, what would you tell us?
So pretty much you get everything that's in this book. You get poems about love, which is people and places that I've been to, intimacy, poems that are intimate, erotic poems, which is the sex part, and the understanding, which is poems about life and just different lessons that I've learned.
So being an author, growing up in Long Beach, what exactly, how did you get into writing and why did you pick poetry as a form of expression?
So I started writing about 11 years ago. At the time, I was in foster care. I had a therapist who would come and see me, and I would tell him that I like writing. So he suggested for me to start writing down how I felt, and as a way for me to cope with my feelings.
Okay, Stanley, you're also an author. Do you find writing as a way of expression?
Of course. I think writing is like art, in different forms.
Okay, it's not that many minority authors that are actually pushing and making a buzz. What do you guys, what would you say separates you from every other author or person that is trying to write a book out there right now?
Work ethic, consistency, persistence, like everybody say, you gotta keep going every day, even though when you think you don't see the light at the end of the tunnel, you gotta keep going until you see it,
Mm-hmm. And what is your guys' support system? What would you say your support system is like?
Oh man, family oriented. And really keeping those around that want to push you forward. Not just yourself, but themselves as well. It's a relationship is...
We a family over here at Gang Tales, man. For real. Like, all our authors push, we all push each other. It's all a family. How I move, how we all operate. Like, you go to the house, we're all eating, we're all working, so it's family oriented. Ain't no one got us except us.
So explain Gang Tales. Is this a publishing company or what is Gang Tales?
Right, it's a publishing company. I started in 2020 at the beginning of the COVID pandemic. So it's pretty much I just gave the streets LA stories. I really want to emphasize on LA and the West Coast, because as everyone knows, when it comes to Black literature, you only think about the East Coast, Midwest, and down South, like the 𝗀𝗲𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 Zanes, all them people from the East Coast. And a lot of people was questioning where's our West Coast authors. You can only name about a handful in one hand, you know. So I just felt like, as much as LA is influencing the world and how much is our lifestyle is contagious, I feel like it's my duty to shed light on LA stories, you know. So I go seek out the truest people that come from the streets elements, the environments that a lot of people around the world come from, you know. So I go seek these people out and have them tell their stories, shed light on LA, you know, because our stories really matter.
And what day, like, when did you decide, like, okay, I'm an author, but let me start my own platform to be able to help other authors reach another level?
I always wanted, it was always in me. Like, even when I've been thinking about starting my own publishing company before I even wrote my first book, you know. So like, I always wanted to put people before me. If people know me, they know I'll give them like my all, you feel me? So I always had that in my mind. It's just I needed to build myself up so I could be able to give. You know, you can't give without nothing to give. So I had to build myself, but it's always been in me first and foremost.
And for you, 𝗛𝗏, like being a part of Gang Tales and you're being an author, how has this helped you so far in your career?
Building connections.
Nice.
Being put in, places and spots that I've been in.
We here, Hollywood, baby. Jackie LA, baby. We here, baby.
So this book, like, when did you actually drop this book?
So I dropped it this year.
And what is the feedback that you've been getting back for it?
I mean, people say that it's cool, it's good, that they like it. The content, I mean, it's not bad, to be honest.
He said it's not bad, to be honest. So what can we expect from you, 𝗛𝗏, like in the near future? Like, what else would you be working on?
Oh man, so I'm actually in the process right now of working on a radio talk show.
Okay.
With a local radio in Long Beach.
Nice.
And aside from that, I'm writing every day, every other day, as much as I can to prepare for my next book.
So where do you see yourself as a future author?
As a future author, pushing my books, and I also want to put my poetry onto clothing.
Okay, that'll be nice. So I always ask people this, like, we all come from the streets, and I like what people don't fail to realize is LA in the streets stands for like love all. So like love all, meaning anything, everybody in the streets is, we're gonna love all. And with you being a poet and also an author, where inside of you does this passion come from that you're executing?
The passion, it comes from, so if I were to start my first book, Journey Through the Void, Volume 1, what's the void? The void is everything and everything at the same time. It's a space where, you feel the emotions all at once, and then sometimes you don't feel anything. That's where it comes from. It comes from life. It comes from experiences and different perspectives.
And for you, what would you say your passion comes from?
It's so many things that draw my passion. First, my kid, family, and then I just want to better myself and better everybody around me. So every day I wake up is, how could I do something that's gonna put me in a better position for the next day? You feel me? So it's life.
Okay, so we are on Streets Talk. If there's one thing, 𝗛𝗏, you can say for the streets that you want everybody to know about 𝗛𝗏 𝗧𝗵𝗏, what would it be?
Oh man, so first thing I want to say is, if you have a passion, to always chase it. Don't let go of it, no matter how busy life gets, and the things that come in between. Chase what you dream of, because that's where it's going to be. That's where that happiness is at, and that's where the love is going to be.
Stanley, what would you say for the streets?
While you're chasing that dream, get money. You have to get money. For real. I can't, everybody got different dreams and different paths they want to walk. Just make sure you get money while you get along, and take care of your family.
So Love, Sex, and Intimacy, where can we find this book?
Oh yeah, you can find it on Amazon. Love, Sex, Intimacy, and Understanding by me, 𝗛𝗏 𝗚𝗏. I like to share a poem from the book and a second poem afterwards.
Let's go.
That's cool. So this poem right here, It's named after my first 2 books. It's called Journey Through the Void. It goes, journey through the void means not running away from the bothers and burdens you feel, but do not linger for too long. Let it pass, grow and learn from the experiences. Having self-awareness and accountability, knowing you have choices, positive and negative consequences, and humility to admit when you're wrong. Accepting the outcome foreseen with a blind eye. Setting intentions and boundaries, knowing your goals, set a plan and execute. Showing respect for yourself and everyone else. There's enough chaos in the world to have it within yourself or harbored for anyone else. Overcoming self-doubt, self-sabotage, the anxiety of failing and not being enough, the emotional lows, depression and regression, breaking patterns and habits, realizing your potential and beyond, letting go of fears and self-limiting talk. I can't, won't, shouldn't disappears from the vocabulary and thought. Some days are sunny and others are dim. Try not to burn out. When you reach the point, please reach out. We are never truly alone. Love will always find its way to self. Are you out of the void? No, because I occasionally feel the funk. It lingers, but I learned to not sulk within myself. It's a symbiotic emotional state attached to the psyche. Do not let it control your being. Growing with the pain, every mistake has its lessons. Listen to the repetition, trying not to get caught in the cycle, escaping a trapped mindset. Set yourself free.
We get some snaps. Give me some snaps. Give me some snaps. Give me some snaps. Give me some snaps. Okay, Eduardo, let's go. You said you had another one and that was it. That's it. That's it. That's all.
So
all right.
That's the one from the book. And then the second one is called At First Sight. Shout out to Gang Tales. Love at first sight. How would I know it's there? Lady has been about swiping left, swiping right. Where's the connection? Lost in the disconnect of the internet and dating apps. Feeling like love at first sight is out of sight. Blinded, I cannot see what love looks like. Forgetting the feeling, a world without butterflies. So when they ask, what does love at first sight look like? Tell them you're waiting until the next migration, the return of butterflies.
I hustle, I trap, I make things happen. I'm the streets captain. Cause the streets talking, I speak the real. Ain't no capping. I hustle, I trap, I make things happen. Really from the best side. I really from the west side. You know we don't play right.
You need half up front and the rest on the back end. Everything negotiable, go on and tap in. This game is all about relationships. Any form of abuse can lead to